This is Ben Smith, U.S. History First Hour, Miss Simone. What is your full name?
Kevin Michael Smith.
Where are you from?
I was born in Grand Rapids, Michigan.
How old were you on September 11th, 2001?
I was 33 years old.
Okay. How did you find about the attacks of 9/11?
I was at my office. I was working. Somebody had said that there was an attack, or somebody actually said that a plane had hit one of the Twin Towers in New York City. So we went into our lunchroom and we started watching the news. And while we were watching the tower, the first tower was on fire. They didn't know if it was a private plane or if it was airline, an actual airline that was hit. While we were watching that, a second plane hit the second tower. So that's how I found out about it. I was in my office. It was a very, very surprising thing.
What were your first feelings when you heard about the attacks of 9/11?
Well, my brother, your Uncle Sean, worked at the Empire State Building at the time, so I was my first feelings were fear. If we were under attack, were they going to attack the Empire State Building, and was he safe? So it was pretty scary.
When you heard about the attacks, were you with other people?
Yeah, there's a lot of people in our office. There's probably about 6 or 8 of us in our lunchroom watching the actual events unfold on the news. Like I said, we saw that the second plane actually hit the tower, and that was then we knew something was really wrong. And then the news started coming out that there were at least 4 or 5 planes that were not responding to the towers, and that they felt those 5 planes all could have been hijacked. So it was something that never had happened before in my lifetime.
What is your most vivid memory of the attacks of 9/11?
Well, I guess the most vivid memory would be, what are we supposed to do? Are we supposed to go on about the day? Are we supposed to go home? Do you contact your loved ones? Is this something that, initially we didn't even know if there were multiple planes. Were there only 5 planes they couldn't get a hold of? Was every plane that was in the air, were they all going to try to attack certain locations in the United States? And I remember that they called for all planes to be grounded immediately. So no matter where they were flying to, they had to go to the closest airport. So that was pretty unbelievable.
Were you afraid for your safety or the safety of your family?
I guess I was in Detroit, the Detroit area, and I wasn't terribly afraid for either me or my wife or my 2 kids at the time. I felt like we were all pretty safe here. I was mostly concerned with my brother's safety because he lived in New York City. So I guess and I could not get a hold of him. All the lines were completely jammed. There was I tried to get a hold of him for probably 3 hours. I probably did not get a hold of him till 1 or 2 in the afternoon that day.
Were you personally connected to anyone in the towers, Pentagon, or planes?
I was not. No, I didn't know anyone that actually worked in the towers or that was in a plane or in the Pentagon.
Did you ever visit the locations of the 9/11 attack, and what do you remember?
Um, my wife and I visited the location that's now called I forgot what it's called. It's the 9/11 Memorial, I believe, and it's on the site where the Twin Towers once stood. There's a new building that they built called the Freedom Tower, which is now on that site. But we visited the memorial probably 10 years after it happened.
Thank you for taking this time out of your day to do this interview with me.
You're welcome, Ben.